Hello there. Today on TerraTech we'll show you how to make a simple boat for your first boat, one that actually has some turning arc and be able to turn and not capsize and be able to kill the guys on the water and have some armor too if you have that armor available by the time you can create your first boat. So let's go into all the information that you might need about actually crafting your boat and what those boat parts might actually do and how they need to be positioned for yourself. So let's take a look at this simple tech right here. You will get this big cargo right away at the swamp biome, and that's just access to the boat, and I can show you the basic directions in a second. But this is like the armored version, so as you see I was moving a little bit slowly, but the trick is you just got to put these pontoons on the outside edge and then go ahead and stick the routers on the outside. So make sure you have 4 of each before you go and make your boat, and that's kind of important because if you move these routers over to the middle or you stack them all on the back or the front, you're not going to get very much turning out of it. It's actually very horrible, and that's what I had an issue with when I was first making my tech, because it wasn't working like a boat should, and you don't have very much parts to go ahead and do that. But yeah, it is really simple to get your first boat going. You got a small frame, you stick it on the outside, and then you go ahead and place your parts. And yeah, the other trick right here is hitting that K button there. If you don't know that, and hit the K to get your center of mass and your firing arcs for your weapons. And the lightning guns have a firing arc, and that's probably the best weapon to use on the water, other than the rifles, probably, of course, for the longer range and stuff like that. But yeah, everything's weak to the lightning on the water. But yeah, simple frame, put them on the outside, stick these on the 4 corners, and that's the basics for getting your basic boat. It is really that simple, and the rest of it is just armored up with some extra armor plates on there to but that weighs you down also too, right? So we could just take that off real quick. Well, try to take it off quick. And yeah, the center of mass is still pretty close to the center. Yeah, but these things are stuck up there. I like stacking my mods on there for my guns, and superconductors, probably the more important one versus the amplify for the lightning gun, in my opinion, because the lightning gun charges up its power the longer you use it, and that's why we're using this cab right here. And this is the cab you have access to, right? But it only has 240 for capacity, but it is like it does have that 4 batteries on there, which is rare for cabs now. Most of the other ones you get later on are going to have 1, and that's about it. But yeah, you just the longer you hold a button down for your lightning, the more damage you'll do. It's like slowly stacks up to more damage, but it does not penetrate the water, so you just got to keep aiming it around. But like after you're like on your second battery, you get up to the guy and target him. So what I usually do is when I run around there is, as soon as I hear the music, I fire my gun, and then I'll find the guy and then go there and kill him, and I'll do some good damage. But yeah, so yeah, just if you want to turn a little bit better, just to tap the button forward as you're turning if you want a tighter arc. But yeah, it goes pretty good without all that armor weighing it down, right? And that's just a simple pauldrons on there. And it's not capsizing, even though it's pretty weird looking, right? So it's pretty heavy on there, and the cargo's on the back. The cab's in the back and the cargo in the middle. But yeah, so it looks sloppy, but it functions as it is. So that's the first basic thing you have there for building your text on there. And then you can go ahead and change it around with other frames if you want. Like if you wanted to put the Komodo frames on, for example, and have a boat like that. Sure, it's longer and wider, but since everything's on the outside, it'll still have a decent turning, right? So it'll still work properly, and that's the simple cargo. You can add some more cargo. Well, actually, no, we're pretty much at capacity, but as soon as you get the cargo thing, you can get the better cab too. But yeah, we still have the armor in the front, but the 2 cabs here is for the extra 2 on amplify, basically on there, and also it does stack the extra armor, right? The 2 armor versus the 1 armor for using the 2 cabs. But yeah, so with the amplify, 100% damage, it's just adding another 20% damage to your lightning gun, and it is a little bit lower on the water, right? So that looks a little bit better for the height on there. So that's why we're not as capsizing much, because it is a lower profile, right? So we do have that advantage for using cabs like that. And it is still kind of not very buoyant, but it's still Yeah, good. And then you can adjust it later on. Now we should get ahead into the other parts that you're going to find later on. If you're going to go ahead and build some more boats, you might want to know what these other parts do. They're all pretty simple, and they do what they say. They're just kind of tricky and difficult to get the handle on for them. So these weighted keels, they work on the center of mass thing, and the center of mass is that K button. You hit the K button back and forth, you can find out where your center of mass is and where your thrust is. And if you've got propellers, you can see the angle of they're thrusting at too. So yeah, so we can see our thrust is going that way, type of a thing on there and all that. So yeah, that's got to be one. But the weighted keels, they add that for the balancing effect. So if you're ever going on there and you're trying to make a skinny tech basically like this, and always capsizing and things like that, so that's when you want to stick these keels down there and put them at the center of your boat, if you can weigh that down there, or put them on the sides to weigh the sides down. That's how they're supposed to work, but they are very expensive, and that's not something you can do right away with these first easier cabs. Anyways, it's not recommended because these things here only cost 15, and these weighted keels cost the basic ones cost 18. So you're losing a lot of propulsion by swapping them out there, and not gaining much else out of it for using those things. But that's what they do when you're building the bigger techs. If you want to build one that's actually skinnier, it looks like a boat type of thing, you want to do that, then you're going to have to use these keels and stick those things in the center of your boat, or the center arc of your boat, so they're not tipping over or flipping over, that type of thing. That helps you balance that out. And then we'll go over to the other parts of the boat. The wider parts of the boat. We should discuss those things there. So always check the reactor low of the hit points. So that's going to be the most important part, because the guys in the water do a lot of damage, and the wider the parts, the better the buoyancy is. So as soon as you get these parts right here, for example, this versatile beam cap, you're going to get lots of these by killing guys. As soon as you get them, replace these things right here, because these things cost 10, these ones only cost 8, and they have a lot more hit points than the other ones. These ones here have like 220 hit points, for example, and these ones here have 290 hit points, and they cost less, and they are also wider, and that makes your boat more stable. And since they are bigger blocks, they add more floating power for yourself too. So they add that buoyancy for yourself and stability. So it's like a win-win for like every category you can think of by doing that and adding them. I think these ones here are the best for their value on there. The other ones that are square, like that one's 12 and that one's 14, and the hit points are relatively the same. And this one here, even, it's got more hit points, and the reactor load is 18. So it's you're only gaining like 50 hit points, which might matter quite a bit, but that 10 more cost on that is pretty high, and that's double the cost for that. So that's why I don't think that was really worthwhile at the end of the day, adding that little bit extra hit points. You could stick 2 of these there on instead, right? I'd rather have 2 of these on my boat than having 1 of those basically for your spot. Like, you can make it look nicer if you want to with 2 of them, right? You have 1 this way and then 1 the other way, and have it a front, have those at the front of your boat, and have another sit at the back of your boat if you actually have room for it, and you want more stability and buoyancy and stuff like that for your boat. So that's how those things will work for your boat. So the narrow ones are not too great for actually trying out there. I tried these things out there, tried building a boat with narrow ones on the side and doing it properly. The outside ones here and those ones here for the pontoons, and they're just not really, it's not really convenient at the end of the day. So yeah, just remember that when you're building your tech. The next video we're going to have is going to be on where to go after you have your boat and all that kind of fun stuff. But the simple directions are, of course, you're at your tech yard, which is over there at your beach. That's a common place you're going to go. Then you go to the island over there, and then you can follow the directions right here. See that arrow there pointing to the west? That's where they're going to be the what do you call it, the licensing, the vendor place to buy stuff over there, the trader guy. And you can get there just by going this way. You just go this way after you get to this big beach here. This is a good base spot, of course. You just go around this way and then go to the other side, and then you should be, you take that beach and go there, and you should be good to go. I'll fly there right now for you. How about that? Because the boat would be a little bit too slow, and the aerial stuff will be a little bit better for you to fly. So I'll show you my cheap airplane if you want to. You can just copy that if you want to, and do that. Tech yard snapshot. And we'll take the small guy first. Yeah, just the small cheap plane, and we'll do that because we can get over there nice and quickly. Oops. Oh, whoa. Almost hit the side there. A little bit sketchy, but yeah, we are on the outside right here, and you just go around here. There's going to be a little alcove just over here. You can get here through land. It's just right through here, across there, and then straight over to there. And this is that little beach area. So yeah, you got to travel through here. There's some guys to kill here though that you might want to try and avoid by coming through the water over here. So just right here, a little landing spot right there, and then just run around here, just dip into there so you can get your debuff for the swamp stuff, and then here you are. This is the trader for the airplane parts and the other big cargo. So yeah, don't buy that medium cargo, just come right over to here and go over here and buy the stuff that's over here, and the specials and stuff like that too you can buy for the better cabs. They are expensive, so that's why you might want to go and do some combat on the water and get enough money to buy these guys, and use those things there instead, right? But yeah, this is all the parts you can buy over here after is all these plane parts right here. Right now, if you want to be cheesy, you could use those big propellers that you can buy. Where they are, these prototype ones, these guys right here. These things don't have no weight. You can see that big empty spot right there. That means they have no they don't take any capacity for your tech, so you can put as much of these things as you want on for free. Same for the frame, and same for the end part of the wings for your thing. But yeah, you can sit there and buy all these plane parts right away, and go nuts on your airplane parts. And there's a large cargo right there. I'm only on license 2. That's all I ever needed. I have done more, but never needed to actually license them yet because money is so tight in this game. But yeah, you just come over here, get the large cargo, and then go for your plane, and you should be good to go. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.